All right, now welcoming here on the Rich Eisen Show is somebody whose camera has been working, and it has been working to capture some images and some stories of someone he's known for quite some time. That person's name is Dwayne Johnson, and fans of Dwayne Johnson, aka The Rock, which means every human being on planet Earth will love this book. It's called Through the Lens, Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, His Life, His Movies, His World. The president of production of Seven Bucks Production, producer and photographer, all a hyphenate, Hiram Garcia. Good to see you, sir.
Likewise. Thanks so much for having me on. What a wonderful intro. I appreciate that.
Hey, this is what I do for a living. This is what I do for a living. You know?
You got a future, my friend. You got a good future.
Hey, man. So when did you first meet Dwayne? When did you first?
I met Dwayne back when I was about 15. I met him. I was a freshman. I was early in high school, freshman, sophomore. He was in college. And I remember at that time thinking, I was pretty tall for a freshman in high school. And I met this dude, and he was a mountain. He was a mountain of a man, and he was dating my sister at the time. And I remember just thinking, hopefully he's good to her, because I'm going to need a big bat if he's not.
Right. And so you guys just hit it off pretty much through that relationship?
Yeah, right from the beginning, we hit it off and very similar minded. And, at that time we bonded over the Sega Genesis playing NHL hockey. And we bonded over that and over sports, and obviously him as a football player. And over time, we just stayed close, and we've always been creative partners. Me, him, and Danny have always, whether he was doing the character of The Rock, I would help him with that dialogue. Right. And when he got into the film business, I remember I was in between jobs. I was trying to figure out what I was going to do because what I had studied in college I really didn't like that career. And he said, "Hey, well, why don't you come with me to do Scorpion King? I've never done it before. Let's see how we like it." And that was a moment when I realized I wanted to be a film producer, and we've kind of stayed steady since.
Hit it off ever since. So I know prior to me hitting record on this, you said that we know a lot of the same people. Does that mean if you met Dwayne in college, you met Warren Sapp? Did you meet Warren?
I never got a chance to meet Warren. I wish I would have got a chance to meet Warren. I didn't. My Dwayne was my contact to him. But man, those string of players that he crossed paths with, from Warren to Ray, all those guys. I mean, especially that period of time of the Canes were unbelievable, and that's when they were still fire, and so he comes from that lineage of unbelievable players. And I do remember, I think I have a football that he was very kind to get signed for me, I think from maybe the 91 team, with all those players, just legends on there. So it was really cool, and a really cool period in time when he was there.
I know. He was part of a pretty damn good football team, back in the day. He had some.
I miss those days, my friend. I have hopes for us now, but it's been a long time since we had that juice, and I'm hoping it comes back.
Well, look, man, I mean, the Canes it's tough to keep them down, even though they might be going through some down years. So
that's the truth.
Where did you come up with the idea of doing this? I mean, as if you don't have enough on your plate of being a producer of one of the hardest working guys in this town right now. I mean, where did you come with the idea of let's start taking some pictures?
Sure. Well, it's one of those things where the dream was to produce films. And once I started achieving that dream, I started noticing things were just flying by. And I really wanted to document these moments and these special triumphs we were having. And so just for the fun of it, just documenting some shots, being able to share them with friends and family. We're always away from it. And obviously DJ's pretty active on social media, so he loves to have images that he can share. And there was a period where I wanted to give him a gift. And trust me, there's nothing harder than giving a gift to the biggest movie star in the world. Look, the people around you, Rich, they know when they try and give you a gift, it's not easy when you're dealing with superstars like you. So
you're right. By the way, you are right to equate with. I am the Rock of sports. Oh, yeah. You're right.
That's how it goes. I can recognize it. I recognize it from afar. And so I wanted to give him an image, just a cool image framed. And as I was going through it, I remember thinking, wow, I haven't actually had a chance to look through all these images. And I ended up just sharing a bunch of them with DJ. And we both came away saying, you know what, we think there might be something here. There's some really cool stories behind these images. A lot of these photos people have never seen, and it might be fun to create something that we can share with fans, and also a great creative outlet for me just to exercise another muscle. And so from there I ran with it, and found a great partner in St. Martin's, and here we are now, man. It's really cool.
And it's where all books are available right now. The Rock, Through the Lens, His Life, His Movie, His World. Again, 20 plus years worth of photographs of you and your relationship with him. Is there one that leaps to mind that you'd love for people just to, hey, you got to get this book because of, of that?
I think, look, I think there's a couple images in there. One image that always stands out to me is one I was able to capture of him and Stan Lee. I've always loved that image. Stan Lee was one of the guys that when DJ first broke into the business coming from wrestling, Stan just greeted him with open arms, and he just felt that DJ had something to offer the business. And the moment I captured in that book was many years later. They hadn't been able to see each other, and Stan was just so proud of everything DJ had done. He's like, I always knew you were going to do this, kid, and I knew you were going to be big into this business. And he's just heaping praise onto DJ. And look, and you've met DJ before. He is a monster, right? 6'4", 275 pounds of muscle, but he's a sweetheart inside. And in that image, I always love that you could see him being humbled. And it was real for me because I had never met Stan before. So that's an image I've always been proud of. But I also think just in the book, you're going to see some looks of DJ, that you've just never seen, some very intimate moments because he's very generous. And I was able to capture those and place them in the book.
And so how's he doing right now? I know that
he's doing great.
He announced he and his family had contracted COVID, and it kind of took a lot of people back because he is obviously the embodiment of health, fitness, as well as savvy and as somebody that is not going to really put himself out there at risk. Is he doing all right? Everybody doing okay?
He is. He's doing very well, and luckily him and Lauren and the kids are all doing well. But they got hit hard. They got hit hard, and I remember there was a period of time we're always in touch, and even though we'd been far apart quarantining, we always stay close. And he had gone quiet for a while, and how as he is, he keeps things on the low as he was battling it, and then he let me know what happened, and it was a shock, but thank God him and the family are okay, and they were able to bounce back. But he's doing well now, and he's thriving, and he's fully recovered, and now we're just back at work. So very, very grateful for that.
And in terms of at work, I mean, what is it like shooting movies or getting ready to prepare shooting movies in what's going on in the world with the pandemic? I know what I'm doing with NFL Network and the protocols just to walk in that building. I'm wondering what it's been like for you.
Yeah, you're in it. It's an incredible undertaking, right? And it literally took all the months while we were in quarantine. We got shut down in March, and I'd say probably starting from April on began the process of just figuring out how do we bring everyone back in a safe way. And it's manuals being created with hundreds of pages, and just the protocols of testing, multiple testing times a week, and sequestering crew and creating bubbles for safety, PPE procedures, in terms of groups that are able to, we have zones that only certain groups are allowed to go to. Just, we've had a great partner in Netflix produce something like this, and their approach has been whatever it takes to keep everyone safe is what we're going to do. So we've been fortunate to have them as a partner, and we've had great success. We're back up and running now, and but it has not been easy. This world right now doing it's not an easy thing, but as we pick up speed, things get easier, and we've been very efficient. And the most important thing is we've been safe, and that was a priority for us.
What are you working on right now?
So we're continuing. We were shooting something called Red Notice for Netflix, and we had we got shut down in March because of the pandemic, and now we resumed. So we're halfway through. It's with Gal Gadot, Ryan Reynolds, and Dwayne, and it's big fun movie, and we've had to adjust in terms of how we were doing because we were actually going to be shooting in Italy when everything went down. So we've readjusted and we've adjusted so that we can finish everything up on stages. But really proud of our crew, how we've rallied and our team and our cast in terms of just how everyone's embraced this and getting back to work and getting our crew back to work, and it's been very successful.
And you're from Jersey, right? We're in Jersey.
Yeah, I'm from Jersey. I grew up in Jersey in Morris County. Succoson in New Jersey, and then I went down to Miami to go to the U for college.
I'm from Staten Island, so that's kind of like
right on.
I mean, it's technically right. There's parts
right in the area
that would definitely proclaim Staten Island as its own. So
some sprinkles.
How does one from Jersey by way of Miami wind up a Raider fan like you? I've been told.
Well, look, I tell you, I get that a lot. It's funny. So I'm the child of immigrant parents from Cuba, and so typically, sports are passed on, from parents, from your dad, kind of passes it on to you. They didn't follow sports. They really, our first foray into football was at an amazing time was the U, during, starting in '85 was when we started following the Canes. But I really wanted to follow a team, and no team was resonating with me. And it was around '89. Bo knows. I got struck by Bo Nose, and I followed the combo. I thought that combo of Bo Jackson and Marcus Allen was so awesome. And I'm a loyal guy, and I've been a Raiders fan since. And look, and I always say, there's one thing you know if you meet a Raiders fan. If they're a Raiders fan, I'm clearly not a front runner. So I love my team. I love my team, and I'm with them to the end. And we're turning the corner. I'm really excited what Gruden's doing over there. And look, we're 1-0. I'll take it all day. All day.
No, and this kid Josh Jacobs is a special player. I don't know if you're aware, if you're fully aware of his story. It might be something that you and Dwayne might be interested in talking to him about how he grew up and what he's overcome and what he has become.
So powerful.
I mean,
and when he got the house for his father, and it's just a beautiful story, and an amazing player. What a young player. And he gets that hat trick on Sunday. I mean, it's really exciting to see what they're doing. And look, as a Raiders fan, you're like, it's eventually got to come around, right? Like eventually it's going to circle back around. And I feel like we're on the upswing.
So if Red Notice is what you're saying you're shooting right now, correct?
Yes. 100%.
So if suddenly there happens to now suddenly out of nowhere be an on-location shoot for the film in Las Vegas, that's where we can connect the dots for you?
100%. You will see it for sure if we're shooting, in the Death Star, whatever, what they're calling it. You'll know that there's some personal motivations there for why suddenly our third act is just being shot in the middle of that stadium.
It looks perfect, right? Doesn't it look like a perfect?
It is the ultimate Raider stadium. Even from outside, I remember when they were building it, and you just see that shiny black dome, and you're like, oh yeah. You don't even have to ask who else would play here, but the silver and black.
Hey man, congrats on this. It's really an amazing book. I mean, some of these photographs are truly remarkable, and like I said, everyone is a fan of Dwayne's, obviously, and that includes me and everybody on my show. So I appreciate you taking the time.
Oh, and thank you so much, man. I've been a fan of yours for a long time, and keep doing your thing. And thanks again for the support. I really appreciate it.
No, it's my pleasure. And if you say thank you, I guess the way that I need to finish is, what can I say except you're welcome?
Yeah, well said, my friend. Well said.
My daughter would kill me if I didn't finish the interview this way. So, thanks for doing this.
I love it.
Thank
you so much, Rich.
Take
care.
Thanks again.